Hello, everybody. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. That's me. Thank you for joining me today, making me just a small slice of your day. You know that I appreciate you. Today is the day of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. We're going to talk about that. This entire week is just a week for remembering the life and career of Muhammad Ali. So we'll just talk a little bit more about that. I've gone through the political stuff with Ali already, like all of the really deeply political things that have made me grumpy about what people are saying about Muhammad Ali. I've gone through, and I thought, just when I thought that there wasn't any more stuff to go through, there was more stuff to go through. We've got Tennessee State Representative Martin Daniel and his wonderful takes on Muhammad Ali. And it's interesting because, like, after a while, there's bound to be the contrarian. Contrarians just show up and just say the opposite stuff to what everybody is thinking because they're tired of hearing what everybody's saying. Contrarians are crazy, kooky people. You just have what is an obvious fact, and contrarians will just say the opposite thing. Contrarians are tired of the Warriors. And we're just saying stuff now because why not? Charles Barkley is the ultimate contrarian, and we have some opinions on him as well. But before we jump into all of that, let me introduce a guest on the show today to help me talk about Game 3 of the NBA Finals. My brother, who is not only a gigantic basketball fan, but solid writer as well. And where can the people find you on the social media?
I'm on Medium now. I was on Blogspot, and the site looks terrible, so I changed to Medium.
So you transported
to Medium, and their site is generic. Everything looks the same, but they have like these decent new tools that you can like integrate internet stuff. The kids like the GIF. Have you heard of a GIF, Keon?
I've heard of the GIF.
It's like a moving picture with no sound.
Wow. The moving picture. All right.
It's so inventive.
I know, right? I mean, this is what technology has done to us. Who needs those rolling walls of text when you have moving pictures?
Moving pictures.
So we'll get into basketball talk with my brother and hopefully some Ali talk as well.
Which I don't take on that. I mean, I do, but like I'm too sad. I'm trying to process it as slowly as possible. Like people are already rushing, like you said, to to go the other way on his life. Like he wasn't a really great. You know, they already have is he in the top 5 of boxers? Like that's already happening.
Really? Like
get those takes.
First off, when was he not? And secondly, the man hasn't been gone a week.
He's already in that. Those takes are already rolling, and then obviously, you know, he had complicated politics his whole life,
right?
And he grew and he changed and evolved over the course of time, and people are picking at that, and I'm like, he's not even been dead a week. Can we just appreciate the amazingness? Can we just watch some YouTube commemorative videos and just chill
and just remember a man that had a life? Like he had a life. He's a whole person, and we're already jumping into his ideas. And it hasn't been 7 days since he's been gone yet.
Like the bickering on Facebook of like already I see a bunch of don't claim Ali as your national hero because you didn't want him when he was like. I mean, yeah, that's people are first hated and then it takes time for people to get used to the idea of that level of confident blackness. Just he didn't care, and he was going to put it out no matter what.
And he was mean about it
He was mean about it, and he was direct about it in a way that very few athletes were. Like it just, he's an amazing dude, and kind of amazing where he started and where he ended up. And I think it's an interesting thing to consider, but slowly. Like let's process this. Let's not jump all at one time to either demonize him or to praise him as the greatest thing to ever happen.
And I understand
he is pretty great.
He is pretty great, and I understand that it's kind of hypocritical me saying that just because of like the conversation on Twitter. Like I just got wrapped up in all of it. Like you see, even prominent sportscasters just talking about Muhammad Ali in a way that I'm just like, that does not even make sense.
Yeah,
and I cannot stand by and let it happen.
But if you want some like good stuff on Muhammad Ali, go read the New York Times critic at large Wesley Morris's piece on Muhammad Ali, and then also there's a 10-minute segment on the Dan Le Batard show. However you get to this, I guess the ESPN podcast.
I would search it in the TuneIn Radio app.
Yeah, you can do it that way as well. with Max Kellerman, and that was like maybe the best 8 minutes of audio you're going to get on Muhammad Ali. It was really great. Like, I would highly recommend it. Bring a tear to your eye, maybe. If you have a soul.
If you have a soul. So we'll get to that a little bit later on. We'll revisit that later in the show. But I do want to get into this NBA Finals talk because maybe I'm a contrarian, but I'm not giving Cleveland a chance to win any more games in this series. And I understand that it's kind of ridiculous, but I'm a little obsessive, and I have kind of nothing but time. When I look at the numbers, when I look at the matchups of this series, it's not good for Cleveland. And I'm not like overreacting or knee-jerking in a way that we did in the previous series when Golden State was down 3-1, because I still kind of held out that Golden State was going to win at least a couple more games.
Right.
I'm looking at these matchups, and I don't care what anybody says about how much harder the Cavs are going to come out in Cleveland or what have you. The matchups are still terrible.
I don't know. I mean, listen, the case can be made that the series is done. It's not even going to go back to Golden State. We're just going to finish up in Cleveland, and that'll be it.
I think so.
Or they'll win one in Cleveland, and they'll go back for the coordination in Oakland in 5 games. And I understand the argument. The argument is the Warriors haven't even really played a great game. They literally had a great Sean Livingston performance and a great Draymond Green performance. Both of those dudes just leveraged the most unfair advantage, both of them being nearly unguarded for large sections of the games that they dominated. It's just... And you still have yet to have Steph Curry or Klay Thompson go off. The Warriors turned the ball over like 34 times in the first 2 games.
Right.
Were out-rebounded both times, shot less free throws, and still blew out the Cavs for a combined 45 points between 2 games. Yeah, there's not a lot of room. I admit that. I can see that.
And we haven't had the good Steph and Klay game yet.
My counter-argument is LeBron James. I mean, there's no way he gets...
I understand that your counter is LeBron James.
It's not scientific at all. I get that. It's not an analysis of stats, but oh my goodness. It's LeBron James. This is the best player for the last decade. Are we not going to give him a shot to win a game at home, Keon?
I'm not going to give him that shot because he's got a few teammates who are just hemorrhaging points. I mean, Love's not going to play tonight. Found out that he did not pass the concussion protocol.
Right.
But,
I mean, if you watch Kevin Love.
They're still putting Kyrie out on that floor.
Quick hot take. Kevin Love didn't want none.
I mean, it's kind of a hot take, but I feel.
And initially, he was in great pain, and then he stood up and he was like, "I'm fine." And then he thought, maybe I shouldn't be fine.
I don't. I'm just saying, if I'm Kevin Love, because I don't even blame him if that's what was going through his mind. If I'm Kevin Love, I don't want to be on TV with the rest of these guys just getting my butt handed back to me on a platter.
I heard a great line. Someone said, Kevin Love is going to pass the wake up from the concussion protocol, the NBA's concussion protocol, and he's going to be a Celtic. It was a great line.
He's going to wake up from the concussion protocol, a Boston Celtic.
Because the series is over, and he's not playing a single more minute for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that would be like a really terrible way for him to go out, but
would it though?
Kind of fitting, no? Like, did his very best, but in the end, his best wasn't anywhere near good enough.
Right. This is not a great.
What would be really sad for him is if they play better without him to like demonstratively better. Like, even if they lose this game, but if they lose by 8, instead of 30. That would be really worrisome for him. His market value as like a trade piece is so low right now.
And I understand that, but part of it is just not. This is just not a great fit for him. Like, he's had to change so much about the way he even plays.
It is
to complement.
That's true, but in a lot of ways, he's kind of been exposed because no one was looking at his defense for the longest time. They were
right.
He wasn't the focal point. He always played next to a big center, and nobody was running screens at Kevin Love because. Why would you do that? Why would you run your 4 out from under the paint where he's big and can rebound all the way up to the top of the key unless he could shoot? And literally it was Dirk Nowitzki and LaMarcus Aldridge who could shoot, and the rest of the league was just a bunch of dudes who rebounded and blocked shots at the 4 and 5 positions. Now, if you do that, Kevin Love Draymond Green takes Kevin Love up to the top of the key where he is so uncomfortable. I've never seen a man just get there and just not want to be there. He understands he has to do this, and he goes through the motions and he does what he's taught, but his feet are slow and he can't go left or right quick enough, and people just sort of shoot around him, and the gaps are so large.
It reminds me,
and it's like nobody has ever guarded the basket. Like, it's a layup drill, in practice the 3-man weave 1-2-3 pass and then just go to the basket and then, no, you're not being defended.
I understand. Like it reminds me a lot of Jadeveon Clowney at South Carolina is just an absolute monster. Gets to the NFL, and there are just some times where you have to be, even though you're on the line as a defensive lineman, you've got to stand up, kind of playing coverage a little bit, just enough to make things
right. And
to make things uncomfortable for the offense. Like Jadeveon Clowney looks so lost anytime you make him stand up. Anytime you make him stand up, he looks lost. That's what Kevin Love looks like. He's out in space and he hasn't got a clue what he's doing.
And that's the funny thing is, like, he clearly knows what he's doing. Like the way his feet are set and the way he's moving, he knows what he's doing. He's just so slow.
The feet are just slow.
The feet are slow.
Just a
the
foot
mind
step
is
late.
willing, but the body is so weak.
It's such a bizarre thing to see, because it's like what makes him look lost is the fact that he is frustrated by the fact that he cannot keep up with anybody. And so he gets out of position even more to almost preemptively stop things that he can't control. Really,
you have to hedge hard in the middle so that you have to listen. At that point, they know that the Cavs are going to give up something. They bring Kevin Love out on the pick and roll. The Cavs have to help. They have to bring a third man into the pick and roll, which means the ball's flying around the perimeter and it's going to find an open shooter, and that open shooter is going to knock down a three. And suddenly, you go down 3 possessions, you score once, they score twice, and 6 points, 2 points. Not a good look.
It's not a great exchange.
It's not a great exchange.
My issue there also, because while we're throwing a lot of shade at Kevin Love, cannot stress enough how much switching onto Kyrie Irving is not helping things either.
Kyrie's been it's hard when one person's bleeding points, but to have, well, let me just be honest. J.R. Smith will lose 50% of the time as an engaged physical defender, and the other 50% of the time is a block of wood on the court.
Right.
Standing, looking at his shoes, wondering when he can go home and use his stupid little skateboard Rolodex thing that is motor powered. Like, I don't
the hoverboard.
The hoverboard
that does not hover. Like, what is the point of calling that?
I don't know. I guess it's the feeling of hover. Like, it's I don't know, man.
Like, really, you're just gonna name it?
Struck me as very stupid and wildly dangerous.
Name things properly. The reason why a lazy boy is called a lazy boy, it is typically purchased by lazy boys. It usually is used by lazy boys, and it makes you look like a lazy boy.
But the thing itself is not a lazy boy. Do you see what I'm saying? So I guess you could make a case. We're not going to argue over hoverboard.
No,
hoverboard,
I'm just saying they named it wrong. Yeah, it's a stupid name.
It's a stupid name. I don't know. But Kyrie's bleeding points. J.R. Smith bleeds points. Kevin Love bleeds points. And you know what?
LeBron kind of bleeding points too.
Right? I'm just saying.
LeBron kind of bleeding points too.
They can't play Channing Frye because Channing Frye bleeds points. And they can't play Iman Shumpert at all. One, because I don't know that Iman Shumpert is that great of a defender, just a personal opinion. And he is useless on offense. Like, can't shoot, can't drive, can't do anything.
What is the point of you? You and Dellavedova. Like, Matthew Dellavedova is a guy.
Well, see, the thing is funny, Dellavedova will just embarrass himself. He'll just, I'm going to drive. I know I need to score, and so he's going to try. Yeah. And it's weird when Dellavedova tries and just, like, pass the ball to LeBron and let LeBron
just give the ball to LeBron. I don't care if he's triple teamed. You find a way to give it to LeBron and just stand there and watch. Because Matthew Dellavedova shooting open shots, they're not good. Driving to the basket, it's not good. Like, none of it is working for him. And it's weird because, like, ever since he had that one good game last year in the finals, he's had way too much confidence.
A good game and a half against Curry. He beat Curry up for game 2, and he had like an 18-point burst in game 3. And then after
way too much confidence.
And then after that, he got pieced up. I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but he got tore apart.
Well, okay. The Warriors have beaten the Cavaliers going back to last season 6 straight times now. 7 straight times. And it has not been close. And Dellavedova has been on the wrong side of a lot of those beatdowns.
It just feels like they're in their head, and it just, I don't know, man. It's rough time for the Cavs. If you're a Cavs fan, I don't have a way for them to win the series other than to say that LeBron might have a transcendent game tonight.
I want him to.
And at that point, what you have is they defended their home court. They have another game, I guess, on Friday, and we'll see what happens. Like, you're at least in the series. If you lose tonight, the series is over, and it's over in the next 2 games. Like, they might win game 4, just save face or whatever. The Warriors don't show up, but it's over in the next 2 games. Like, there's no way.
There's no way that it's not.
No more leverage. 3-0 is. They just don't happen.
That's a rough place to be.
It just, I don't know. It's rough to watch. The Eastern Conference was so much worse than we could even have imagined.
Right, like
it's the best team the East had to offer, and by a large margin. And
it's the East just looks sorry in comparison. And at least strategically, there are some teams in the Eastern Conference that can do like not anything great, but like no, the Celtics.
Okay.
Strategically,
Scott
Brooks. I would not put Scott Brooks with strategically.
You don't know that though.
And that team
Give
was
the
not
man a chance. I am now pro Scott Brooks, even though I made fun of him relentlessly for starting Kendrick Perkins for all of the NBA finals that they lost, all 5 of those games.
Right,
for 25 minutes, played maybe the slower than Kevin Love, less offensive than Kevin Love, just the worst version of a center that you could possibly run out there. That's who they got on the court.
Right, boy, like the Celtics just need players, but I think strategically, that's a team that I like their future. Outside of that, like there's nobody in the East that I like to really do anything to Golden State going into the future. Like not even this series, because I don't think that LeBron saw this coming. I don't think any of us saw this coming.
I don't know, man. It's weird. I saw a bunch of people pick the Cavs or thought that at least the series would be competitive in 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I picked it in 5 only because
I picked it in 5 and downgraded to 4.
Wow.
Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't like what I'm seeing.
I don't know. The offseason for me, it almost feels like we're into the offseason. Like we get 2 or 3 more games of watching Golden State basketball, and that is our treat. Top of the NBA season. And then after it's time to prep for the offseason. It's time to start looking at draft boards.
Right.
And thinking about the U.S. Olympic team.
Like, what else are you going to talk about?
I mean, what else is there to talk about?
You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. Like, speak for yourself on terms of it. You're just looking for the offseason. I, as a radio host, I'm like, man, but on days where I'm not exactly sure what to talk about, all of this delightful basketball really does help. And I'm not about to have that to lean on.
Yeah.
I'm about to be talking a lot of baseball. Brutal. But I don't mind talking baseball right now.
Ooh, baseball's been actually vaguely exciting. I've watched at least 4 minutes of baseball this year, Keon. You should be proud of me. And all of them have been the fights.
Yeah, they've all been the fights.
But here's the thing: have been baseball players whipping off the helmet and the glove and throwing it to the side and then charging at each other like matadors and bulls in a ring, and it's beautiful.
Manny Machado charging the pitcher's mound yesterday.
And interesting.
And it was glorious. And I think that this is what baseball has been missing. Fights, no, but a personality. That sport did not have a personality.
Rivalries. There are teams out there that now just genuinely dislike each other. Like they admit they're going to clear benches no matter if any little thing happens. It's finally,
and they're so petty about it. It's great. And the thing with baseball too,
which is not a sentence I thought I'd ever utter, because baseball is quite frankly one of the most boring things to watch. But
get out of here.
It's very boring.
Baseball is a great game.
It's like watching grass grow, except the grass isn't actually growing because it's AstroTurf. So you're just watching a thing happen. But maybe the wind blows and it rustles occasionally. That's when a home run happens. The wind rustling in AstroTurf. That's how I describe home runs.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. There we go. Duly noted there.
The home run devil
negative
like a
Nancy
hurricane over AstroTurf.
Anyway.
You're more interested in the hurricane than the AstroTurf, but
anyway.
Go ahead, Keon.
Anyway. Here's something that I like about baseball fights that I'm noticing. That other sports that have fights outside of hockey, they're awful. Basketball fights don't amount to much because those guys aren't trying to hit each other. Not really.
You're right.
Like the sucker punch that Carmelo Anthony threw like in 2005, and then he ran away.
Only genuine punch I've ever seen. Now there are a couple.
And then he ran away. It was followed quickly by him running away.
It was really great. It was really great evasion tactics by Carmelo. I'm sure that's how he spun it to the newspaper. But that's like, there are guys on the court who are ready to throw down, but the fines are ridiculous. They're way too much money. Okay, basketball fine for throwing a punch is you get suspended without pay for like 40 games.
Yeah,
right?
It costs too much.
40 games is like $250,000 a game. That add up pretty quickly.
And basketball players aren't out here getting these regular people tax breaks. So y'all just want to hear still having to pay taxes, and you don't have a paycheck for 40 games.
Like, it's just too much money. It's just not worth it.
Meanwhile, football fights are worthless because everybody's wearing a helmet.
Everyone's wearing protective gear. So you either are dumb enough to throw the punch, and then the action is you breaking your hand.
Break your hand on a helmet.
Why would that be exciting?
Congratulations.
You're great. You're very stupid. I'm sure your mother's proud. But baseball, these dudes are coming out and they're throwing hands and they're connecting
to faces, and it's real rage. Like, you can see it.
And they do the weird strip thing where they throw the stuff. Like, they don't want any kind of protective gear. They clearly want to throw. And it's beautiful. It's okay. Beautiful is a strong word, but it's exciting.
No, beautiful is the word we're looking for. Oh no, beautiful is exactly the word we're looking for. That is the most fun I have had watching anything ever. Was watching Manny Machado swing that right fist across what's his name's face on the way to the mound.
I listened. That Roughneck Odor punch he lined it up. It was like
just took Jose Bautista out.
Have a second career as like an amateur boxer or just a UFC fighter.
I would watch that. We're going to talk a little bit more Ali coming up on the other side, and then the historical significance of 73 wins with the Warriors, because that's being questioned next.
I'm blowing everything up. We're starting over. I'm doing a new show. I want guys who push it to the middle of the table and go over the top. Take a risk, fail miserably. I'm right, and I'm not wrong, and I'll never back down. Conflict works. Allow it.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Right here and everywhere. Noon Eastern.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. You and I know that real men are prepared for anything. You know what I'm talking about because you're a take charge guy. Everyone's talking about Grimm's Tactical, featuring first responder gear, survival gear and equipment, Voodoo Tactical, Leapers. For personal protection, Grimm's Tactical features non-lethal personal protection gear, AR/AK parts, knives, canning and dehydrating equipment. If you hike and camp, Grimm's Tactical has got what you're looking for, bags and packs. And for your side piece, concealed carry holsters for men and women. Plus, Grimm's Tactical carries a wide variety of freeze-dried food. Wise Mountain House, Backpacker's Pantry, Grimm's Tactical, where law enforcement shops, Safari Lane, Blackhawk, 511. First responder gear at Grimm's Tactical. Grimm's Tactical, 8115 East Brainerd Road, in the shopping center next to the Walmart Marketplace. Look for the Mighty Mini U-Haul office. Grimm's Tactical is right next door. Grimm's Tactical, 8115 East Brainerd Road. Finding just the right place to live can be a daunting task. Stop your search. In Chattanooga, the place to live is Cross Creek Villas for under $1,000 and available for immediate move-in. You can enjoy this 2-bedroom split layout, over 1,000 square feet, 9-foot ceilings, an extra-large patio or balcony. And don't forget to ask about their preferred employer program. Cross Creek Villas is a gated community, offering a 24-hour fitness facility, a beautiful pool and hot tub, and Cross Creek Villas is pet-friendly. Stroll the pet park with your best friend and enjoy the free use of their business center and clubhouse. Plus, if you mention you heard this on the radio, your application fee is free. Cross Creek Villas, close to downtown off of Highway 58. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com. That's crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. That's 894-0446. Redefine the way you live at Cross Creek Villas. Go to crosscreekchattanooga.com or call 894-0446. Cross Creek Villas.
Clear skies will continue through the nighttime. Comfortable again overnight. Lows into the upper 50s. For Thursday, lots of sunshine. A little warmer, still nice, though. Highs upper 80s. Getting hotter for Friday. Highs into the lower 90s with more dry and hot weather for the weekend. Celebrate the 4th with Dixieland Fireworks, locally owned with the largest and newest selection around. A Black Cat dealer with the lowest prices in Dixie. Dixieland Fireworks open daily just off I-75 on Ringgold Road, East Ridge. And I'm Team 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ward. On AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240. AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio with your Hot News Now update. The Chattanooga police were scouring the Bonnie Oaks community, searching for 3 suspects on the run. When the suspect car was spotted, the Chattanooga police gave chase and the car crashed. They then searched the vehicle, found multiple firearms, and arrested the occupants inside. The police have not said why the men were wanted. Rescuers found the body of a fisherman off of Amicola Highway on Junior Lake about 8 o'clock p.m. yesterday after searching for 2 hours. 2 fishermen went out on the lake, and one noticed that the other's kayak had overturned. That's when he called emergency crews. They arrived and did find his body. The cause of death has not yet been released, and his body's been turned over to the medical examiner. His name has also not been released. The City Council yesterday approved an 8-story multi-use development building at the southwest corner of 3rd Street and Central Avenue
although people in the Lincoln Park neighborhood say that it may ruin their neighborhood and diminish the historic quality of their neighborhood. And in Nashville, House Majority Leader Gerald McCormick is looking to pass a Blue Lives Matter bill, which would put public safety officers in a protected class, making it a hate crime to target them. If it's going on in the Tennessee Valley, it's going on Hot News Talk Radio.
Hot News Talk 1240.
Well, he was my hero as well, which makes me one of hundreds of millions on the planet, particularly for those of us born in the post-World War II era and who lived through the 1960s. The 60s were a decade which in many ways belonged to Muhammad Ali. And that unofficial title, the greatest, can be debated in a variety of ways. But to me, there's no question on one simple pretext. Try to think in your mind right now of any athlete, male, female, in any sport on the planet, who you think would give up 3 years of their life, 3 years at the height of their competitive and money-making power for a socio-political principle. How many other athletes would do that? None. There was one. There was only one.
That is HBO's Jim Lampley, ending with his thoughts on Muhammad Ali, and heartbreaking to watch. Like you just see him barely holding it together, and that basically sums up the life of Muhammad Ali. I don't know if I need to do any particular droning on about that, but the people who have chosen to talk about Muhammad Ali, the people continuing to open their faces and say things about him, those people, though, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, but also, I don't know what to do with you if your reaction to the life of Muhammad Ali is to be a complete contrarian and to say, you know what, I'm going to take the opposite approach here and say ridiculous things. And Tennessee State Representative Daniel Martin, he's Martin Daniel, rather. He's Martin Daniel. Well, here's the thing is what he said. He said Cassius Clay was a skilled, great boxer, but failure to enlist in the U.S. military when the call was made is a black cloud on his character. Which, on his character? Okay. But then he continued to say, liberals can dance with joy the day that Justice Scalia dies, but we can't say one thing about Cassius Clay and his love of the Nation of Islam. No, you can't, actually. And if liberals were dancing with joy the day that Justice Scalia passed away, and you think that that's wrong, I don't understand how that makes you better for doing the wrong thing that you think they're doing. I just don't follow the logic there. And with regards to Muhammad Ali taking a stand for something that he believed in, that's not the easier option. He chose to do something that he thought was morally strong, which is not a black mark on his character. It's not. He didn't say career. He didn't say personality. He said a black mark on his character. And to finish it off, the last tweet, which he did not delete, which he kept online, was dutiful, patriotic, brave black and white men died in jungles while Cassius sat warm and cozy in the USA. That's right, because all that warm and coziness in prison, all that warm and coziness in jail, which I did some research on Martin Daniel because I wanted to know more about the guy. I didn't know too much about what he said, but this is the same Martin Daniel who said that he didn't know why fourth graders social injustice because he thought that it was giving victim status to black people. There's an example in a history book about a young boy who had a textbook that was not up to code. It was missing pages. It was destroyed. It was falling apart. And the boy's mother complained to the school district, and the school district said that white students were the ones that were getting the good, better textbooks. Now, the exercise is supposed to ask the children who read that, what time period did this happen in, and how have things changed? Martin Daniel read this, and his giant takeaway from all of this was, it's teaching America how to be victims. It's teaching America how to be victims. So, lacking entirely in racial awareness and empathy of any kind, it is no wonder that Martin Daniel has decided that Muhammad Ali and his prison sentence was a nice, cozy stay. And that somehow standing up for what you believe in instead of taking the easy way out, because there's no way that Muhammad Ali was going to be in Vietnam fighting. He wasn't going to be fighting. He was going to see the troops. It was going to be a rah-rah USO type thing. Hey, cheer everybody up and come home and keep boxing. Muhammad Ali gave all of that up for the ability to do what he felt was right. And somehow Martin Daniel came away thinking that that was a black mark on the character of Muhammad Ali. Man out here tripping. If that's what you think, and if that's where your mind goes, can't help you. Can't help you. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. I know that the ultimate angry man yelling at cloud scenario is typically held by Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley has said some more things, which is I find to be ridiculous in as much as his stance on the Warriors. He flip-flops on it. He apologizes to them, and then he rescinds his apologies and says more ridiculous things. And his latest more ridiculous thing is that none of the great teams of the past would ever have gone down 3-1 to the Thunder in the first place.
Which is interesting. And yeah, here's my thing with Charles. He's paid professionally to go big on television. Okay, that's one. But even if he wasn't,
because he's not on television right now, ESPN has the finals.
Right. Even if he wasn't, that has nothing to do with anything. Charles Barkley's going to go big no matter what. Okay, and he went huge 3 years ago and said a jump shooting team will never, despite having just witnessed the Spurs jump shoot LeBron's Miami Heat out of the gym.
Right.
Despite that fact, the Spurs hitting threes at a clip that was so blinding and daring and beautiful to the point that people started saying that the Spurs had solved basketball
right.
over a 5-game series. Solved basketball, Keon. Charles Barkley saw that, and then the Warriors started to morph into what they were the next year. Very similar kind of offense, but with even better shooters. Charles Barkley saw this and said,
a jump shooting team will never win an NBA championship.
And then a jump shooting team can't win it. It's so ridiculous.
And here's the thing, because Charles Barkley is coming out here with the reddest, hottest of all hot takes. There's no middle ground with Charles. He doesn't give himself an opportunity to work his way back out.
He doesn't mind being wrong big, and you got to give him credit for that.
Right.
He'll go big. He'll be wrong big. He doesn't care. And it's beautiful, and that's great for him, but this is irresponsible journalism. Irresponsible
broadcasting. Just broadcasting. It doesn't.
You can't say things like, if they win 2 games at home, they're going to win the series. They're going to win it in 7. What? What evidence do you have that the Cavs can sustain any kind of offense, defense, general basketball concentration or ability for even 16 minutes in a single game, let alone over the course of 7 games? They haven't done it yet.
No, they haven't. And they haven't been asked to do it. This is a team that is ranked 8th. The 8th defensive team, the 8th best defensive team of the NBA playoffs. And they played the Raptors, who gift you at least 2 great defensive outings by simply not being able to shoot.
And they played the Pistons, who might, okay, I can't even right now.
Might be one, like, outside of the Raptors, the only other offensively challenged team in the postseason.
They're the worst team that was in the playoffs. They were the worst team in the playoffs.
And by the way, these playoffs had the maimed Grizzlies.
Right, that's true.
And I think the Pistons might not have been better than that team.
That series goes to 7, and you know what? I take I take the team that had proven winners in well, they didn't even have that many.
I mean, you got injured Tony Allen.
You got injured
Zebo.
You got banged up Matt Barnes.
A bunch of scrubs. I'll take that team over the Pistons.
I'll take the team over the Pistons because the Pistons have a couple of head cases and Andre Drummond.
Basically.
That's basically what they have to show. I mean, I don't know, man.
And so
Charles Barkley's a crazy person.
And here's the thing. I find it hard to believe that he would say that, considering how much he loves the Thunder. He picked the Thunder to win the NBA Finals, and they have 2 of the 5 best players on Earth. On this Earth. In order to say something like that, in order to diminish the Warriors, because this is what this does. When you try and diminish the Warriors in all these ways that you do it, you end up having to diminish other great players and other great teams to make the Warriors seem not as good.
It's unbelievable. And I don't know, like, here's the thing. And not to walk everything back just like Charles Barkley, but I still like Charles Barkley. I enjoy his hot takes.
No, he's great.
He's great for entertainment.
And he's great for this show. He's great for any radio show.
He's the best broadcaster on television, basically, period, right now. He's so fun to watch and to hear and to listen to. However, he's wrong. And I guess that's the narrative for this conversation right now.
Yeah, like Chuck, you're just not right here.
You're wrong.
That is so ridiculous. It's one of the most ridiculous things
in my worldview, it's okay to be wrong. But for your profession, you can't be wrong this many times in a row.
And certainly going all or nothing, as Charles does.
So big.
Like,
they're soft. There's never time he says soft in a row. It's just ridiculous.
And what does that mean? Because shooting doesn't make you soft. Sure, you're not making physical contact with guys as often, but that doesn't make you soft. And I watched the Warriors drive to the basket and score around the rim also. It's not like they only shoot.
It's not even that. It's more, it's less about how much they drive or shoot. It's that how could you watch them D up, really lock in on D and play physical and bump guys, and they're undersized and they're still banging in the paint and coming down with rebounds. How could you watch them do that on defense?
And then call that team soft.
And then call that team soft. The team is not soft.
LeBron James.
You don't win 7-game series against teams with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant level talent and are soft.
And then you've got Serge Ibaka, Andre Roberson, and Nez Kanter, just length. Steven Adams,
Steven
gigantic guys.
Who is effectively a human being with like a metal, mask on right, and then some skin loosely wrapped around,
and then a sweet mustache.
He's the Terminator. He's the Terminator
with a mustache, man.
He's a New Zealand Terminator, and he just goes on the court. People hit him in his gonads,
and he's still back the next game. Gets hit again.
He gets hit in the back of the head, and just generally cannot be stopped from doing his one mission in life, which is to run and block shots and get rebounds. He's a machine. He's a machine, and that's the team you had to beat to get here, to get to the cakewalk that is the Cavaliers. And they beat that team, and it came very close to going the other way, but they beat that team. How could you say that team is soft?
Come on, Charles.
Because of mental energy. You played the game.
I've got a stat for you. LeBron James has not made a shot. He's taken 9 shots when guarded by Steph Curry. Not made one of those shots.
Okay, come on.
And I'm just, it's just interesting because while I'm not saying
weird fluky things, like
it might be
Curry extended minutes on him. He eats Steph Curry alive.
He eats Steph Curry alive. But I'm saying in order for the Warriors to be soft, like Steph Curry's not soft. This is what I'm saying. Like LeBron didn't walk through him.
Steph Curry has carried that stigma of his early injuries in his career all the way through to now. People still think he's soft, but really has been D'ing up against good players for the most part. They hide him because they want his offense more than they need his defense.
Right.
So, but they don't have to hide him. He played Russell Westbrook extended minutes. He guards Kyrie extended minutes. He guards people who handle the ball and who can drive and who are physical. And clearly, he can at least not get blown away when LeBron is switched on it. Like, he's going to get back down. LeBron's going to get the basket. He's probably going to draw a foul, but he's not getting blown out of the water, which is something.
Which is what people are saying, though.
For a guy who was like your height, like a normal human being's height, getting guarded by the superhero built LeBron, who was 6'8", 275 pounds of muscle and fluidity. It's stupid. This is we have this conversation every year. They just
when it comes to the Warriors,
they're ready to be over the Warriors. Like they celebrated and we clapped the Warriors. Now we're ready to be over them. And
it's like, yay, jump shooting team won. Let's move on, please. Like we gotta be done with this. But
I want to see.
We're not done with this.
Kobe Bryant basketball again, and I love Kobe, but what ugly basketball.
The 2000s, that was hideous basketball. We had a lot of ISO. We had like not a ton of space. It wasn't a beautiful game.
Don't you want to watch this with its movement and I don't know.
No, the Warriors make basketball look actually pretty. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. And let's keep talking about the Warriors, because here's the thing I want to talk about them in terms of their place in history and this thing that we do where we keep pushing the goalposts back in order for someone or some team to be elite. I've heard the conversation of if the Warriors hadn't won the finals, their 73 games would be useless. If Steph Curry doesn't get a finals MVP, his MVP season isn't worth anything. And it's ridiculous because somehow being a champion is not enough.
I think here's the ridiculous thing, is that it's kind of the dumb all these arguments are dumb sports arguments. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who's the greatest single season team? I don't know.
Oh my God, who cares?
I don't know. Okay. They're foregoing all things like matchups, like who would guard who if they played head to head. And it's basically, that's what it boils down to, is like, would this team beat the 95-96 Bulls? That's basically what people want to know.
That's what people want to say, but then Magic had the thing with the Showtime Lakers the other day. He woke up at 7 in the morning and called ESPN First Take.
Magic has too much time on his hands. This is the thing about former players, is that they go and they leave the league and then they just fill their days with stuff. And then they realize, well, I got all this money and I really would like to enjoy it. And so guys like Charles and Magic, they reduce their workload. Charles does a television show,
right,
for 2/3 of the year. Magic kind of runs the Dodgers. That's a very loose term. And
not really. He finances the Dodgers. He helps to finance the Dodgers.
He helps to finance the Dodgers, and he lends his celebrity status. And he does other business stuff too. I'm not saying it's like completely useless or anything, but he clearly
he does have a lot of free time. Let's be honest.
I don't know how much free time he has, but he's creating time to do useless things. I don't understand it personally. I don't. Well, if you were Magic Johnson, why are you calling a debate show on ESPN a dead format? Like, I don't know who watches I know people who watch First Take and who take First Take as gospel, which is, again,
which is
taking my word for gospel, which I cannot even begin to tell you
how silly you would have to be to do that. I shouldn't carry clout, but I'm just saying,
but neither should
Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
They wrote about the stuff and they observed the stuff, and it's from that perspective. But they are purposely taking weird tacks towards things. I'm not having it.
Stephen A. Smith.
Settle down, Stephen A. It's okay. I didn't mean it.
You're going to have it, okay? Because this is where we're at.
You're having it. You can look directly into the camera now.
You can look directly.
You're going to tell me.
And he's going to say it again.
You don't want to make an enemy out of me.
No.
And I'm looking right into the camera, and I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me. I'm not having it.
Okay.
He's not having it.
He's not having it, folks.
He's not having it.
Stephen A. Smith is not like that. We're saying things about him. But here's the thing. That show, its entire nature is to be preposterous. And the fact that Magic Johnson, the great Irvin Magic Johnson, was apparently up at like 7 a.m. listening to First Take and then decided to call.
To set up the whole thing, Klay Thompson made sort of like this off-the-head comment. His dad, Michael Thompson, played
for the Showtime Lakers. Yeah. He was just razzing his dad.
So they asked him some question associated with that. Draymond Green starts to give the political answer, and Klay Thompson stops him and says, "No, we would beat them." And he's grinning from ear to ear,
like it's clearly a joke.
And inevitably, this is a just right off the bat. First Take producers' eyes light up because they know.
Oh yeah, no, that's glorious.
That's going to cover the first hour of our show. Magic Johnson texts somebody on that team and says, "I'm calling in," and suddenly they're even happier because now it's an hour and a half of content we do not even have to do anything about. We can just turn the robots up and say, you take this side, you take this side. Magic Johnson will call 20 minutes into this argument.
Can we delve into this a little bit, though? Because Magic Johnson's like, whoever's guarding me, I'm going to wear him out. But
First
it's like
off,
Magic.
Have you seen Magic play defense? Because I haven't.
I can't remember the last time never.
He doesn't play defense.
Like going all the way. Go back and watch like the old Michigan State stuff with Magic Johnson. He wasn't playing defense in college.
He, like Kevin Love, just had no interest in it. He just doesn't have any interest in it. And now and could in spurts cover his man. but generally didn't have any interest in playing defense.
Look at when the Detroit Pistons beat the LA Lakers for those finals. They ran it right at Magic. They did exactly what's happening to Kyrie. You just found Magic Johnson on the floor and tried to score on him.
And you did repeatedly. And
over and over again.
When you started running up and down the court, did you have a bunch of shooters like the Warriors have shooters? Did you have maybe the two best shooters in the history of basketball on your team? Because if you don't have that, the second you speed up the game, you just create more chances for threes. And the mismatches and cross matches start to happen, and suddenly they start cooking you because Steph Curry's coming off the screen, and you're guarding him, and you have no interest in staying in front of him. He's wide open, and he's burying threes on you, and you lose the game.
And before we jump into anything further, because I can hear the old heads now talking about, but Kareem, don't give me none of that. By the time the Showtime Lakers were Magic's Showtime Lakers, Kareem was a shell of himself.
He was literally old. Could not play on the floor. Like, you could go and run sets for him in the slow NBA that was the 80s, but in the 2010s, you can't do that.
You can't combine.
You put Kareem on the floor. He goes down. He gets his sky hook. They come back. They run a 5-1 pick and roll. That's the center and the point guard with a good pick and roll. Kareem is in that one. Kareem literally will not be able to move left or right. He will take one step. They will take 3 steps for his every one, and they will score buckets. What are we talking about?
But also, don't combine old Kareem and young Kareem.
Right. You can't just Kareem like you got the best version. Like, you can't be like, I had the 7'3" Kareem, and we're all thinking in our heads
like that guy prime Kareem,
the guy who averaged 25 and 25.
No, that Kareem.
Not that Kareem.
Old Kareem.
We're talking about the Kareem who still had good numbers, but only because the game was slow and nobody ran anything at Kareem. If you run, he's soft. Okay, I'm not gonna say Kareem is soft.
No, I'm not gonna say Kareem is soft, but
Kareem is soft.
The old though,
He's
like old Kareem.
People are soft. This is a known
just
fact.
by the nature,
softer and more
we are upsetting so many people right now. But
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Is that wrong? You get softer and more mellow in your old age. I'm sure when let me not say anything else.
No, for people, because we want the people to be able to find your stuff on the internet, read it. And they might not want to.
Right, I'm just gonna get.
You're just gonna get hate mail.
Make sure my name is at the top of the article and then scroll down to the comment section. You are the dumbest person on planet Earth. And then several things that I can't repeat on radio.
more than likely. You're listening to AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, Clutch with Keon Rose. So here's, and we're coming up to the end of the show here. We've got a couple minutes left, but what's your prediction for the game tonight? Because you already know mine.
I know you have the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs have to win this game. And nobody in the entire Cavs organization, the building, the city of Cleveland doesn't know that. If they lose this game,
it's over.
It's not even that it's over. The humiliation has started, and it starts 2 days early. You don't need that. You don't want those problems with your Cavs. If you're the Cavs, get your 2 weeks of humiliation. 2 weeks and 2 days, it's just too much. Okay? Win this game. Having said that, Warriors by 10.
I have the Warriors, and I have the.
I think Steph Curry goes off
by a larger number than 10.
Hopefully, it's like
Vegas has them the Warriors at a 1-point favorite, and I'm like, y'all out here trying to still be nice to them.
Come on, the Cavs bench is going to be a little better at home. They don't have the same. I mean, they have pressure, and they have not responded well to the pressure. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think we have a monster game from Clay and Steph today.
I don't know if they have only a monster game apparently from one of them because
you only need one. I think you're going to get both because I don't think. Because neither of them played poorly last game. It was just the time.
Question. Who's your finals MVP?
My finals MVP? I don't know.
Is it Leandro Barbosa?
I want to give it to Barbosa. Just, hey.
It's so wide open, and Barbosa has actually given them really great minutes.
But probably Livingston.
He's only had the one good game.
But I don't.
Wide open.
It's too wide open to tell right now. Me too. If you get back-to-back.
Drop 40 on them.
So there you go. And then people can finally get off of his back for that too. Because goodness sakes, when did it get cool to hate Steph?
I don't know. It just did. Like it happened and you closed your eyes and suddenly everybody hated Steph Curry.
Remember, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Stay clutch and I'll see you in 24 hours. Stick around. Run through the tape. Free Talk Live. Next.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds. We'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
You feel better outside your home or business than in. Indoor air quality is important.